Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time Sports. I'm your host, Keith Weissite. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's one of those times when, it's springtime. We're excited about springtime. We're excited about all the things that can come with it. But it's always nice to see and hear people that are doing things through the sports environment that are making a difference, especially when we identify several needs. I'd like to welcome into the program Coach Joshua Smith, HL Bourgeois, baseball head coach. We're glad you're here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Sitting next to him, Sean Dupre, the coordinator for Autism Awareness Game, Light It Up Blue. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And so, Josh, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your connection here with autism.
So this is my 7th year at HL as a coach, second as head coach.
Right.
I have a daughter that's 5 that has autism, and 2-3 weeks ago we found out my 4-year-old has it.
Oh my.
So that's where the whole connection with it started.
Okay.
Before I was at HL, I was at Vanderbilt.
Right.
And I was assistant there.
Right.
And we did a thing with the kids at Tark, with we went bowling with them and things like that. So when I became head coach, I wanted to do something for kids.
Right.
And my daughter having autism,
Right.
knowing the stress you go through,
Right.
I wanted to help.
Well, and listen, you've got that personal connection, a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old. And we normally start to see that with these developmental disorders. We start to see that, age 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We don't start to see if there's a few of those delays. But one of the things that we can't ever deny is some of the stress that's involved for parents and for families. And you know that full well. I love the fact that you want to be able to step up and say, we need to help other people. We need to find a way to make a difference for those people who are dealing with it. I love that. I really appreciate that with you and for you. And autism is one of those things that we've seen in the last 10, 15 years. It's gotten to be more prevalent.
It has. It has.
And so one of the things that we didn't always recognize, I think we're doing a better job with testing. I think we're doing a better job with finding out if there are some of those, and we say delays. It's not like we're saying that that's something very negative. We just see that it's
Correct.
not part of their normal progression as the normal bell curve, if you will, for what children do. And so just seeing that is important. But that's been your connection, right?
Yeah,
with it.
And with my oldest, you would never guess she has autism.
Okay.
She's outgoing and everything like that. And my youngest one, we kind of noticed it from our oldest. She had kind of the sensory things that you do with a kid that has autism. Kind of flapping of the hands, walking on the toes. Messing with your fingers while watching TV.
Right.
Sensory things like that. And so that kind of put us in. Okay, we want to get her tested. If they say yes, then okay, we know what to do. If not, then great.
Right.
And so having the first one get tested early. She got tested at 2.
Okay.
And so that's when we found out. So we were able to get her into the school that we help with the autism game. And so now my youngest is on the waiting list to get in now since we found out.
Right.
But it's been a change in how, you would actually bring up a normal child, but it's been a learning experience. And I think, honestly, having these 2 girls has actually helped me as a coach.
Wow. It makes a difference for you to pay attention maybe to some different things. So it's ironic that we call it this autism awareness, because it sounds like what you're sharing is you're better father, better coach, better person for being able to be aware of kind of what you're immersed in. It's an everyday thing, right?
The biggest thing I've learned from my girls is patience. Patience, because when you have a kid with autism, you really want to be patient with them because, like you said, they have delays. They don't really know how to express themselves like they would want to and things like that. So learning patience with them has helped me learn how to be more patient with a younger person in baseball.
And boy, can't we all learn a little bit more patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but knowing and recognizing, and we'll just go with this term, temper tantrum. What some people on the outside would see as a temper tantrum that really needs to be addressed is something that you're patient about having them work through, because they're just processing the inability to kind of deal with something that maybe even seems small, but to them it's much bigger, right?
Correct. And dealing with that, so they will have their temper tantrum, and you learn how to calm them down.
Right.
Well, that's another aspect that helps me in sports is I get a kid that's really frustrated. I've learned how to do certain things and word certain things, kind of relax them back to their center and get them back to neutral so that they can focus a little bit more.
So we've talked about the ability to learn some patience, and now we've talked about the ability to kind of manage emotions. Listen, you're talking about something that is emotional intelligence, and you're being able to use your own personal experience to be able to pay it forward to make a difference in kids' lives. You're making it a difference on several different aspects. That's just really cool. Coach, I got to tell you, that's not a lot of people can really step back and go, all right, how do I help my situation? You know, so now you're letting this situation with you and your girls and your family really make a difference for so many others. You're paying it forward, if you will, where some people may look at it and go, oh, and feel bad about their situation and kind of throw their hands up about not knowing what to do. You've learned all these new ways to do things.
Yeah, it's been, at first it was crazy.
Right.
But I see it as a blessing now.
Sean, tell us a little bit about your connection and more importantly, how things went last year, which was the first year.
Yeah. I mean, y'all heard Coach's story. He kind of gave me the pitch last year. Look at some help to get started.
Right.
So, you heard the pitch. I mean, I was hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I appreciate the baseball analogy, the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, it was done.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, to find out, like I said, I'm kind of an outsider sitting in. I don't have any autistic children like Coach has.
Right.
So when finding out the story, and he actually told me that the local school over here in town actually had a waiting list, and man, that just tugged.
Right.
And, you actually got kids that's trying to get in, and I'm like, let's get after it.
Okay.
So, and that was the start of it. We kind of started building it. The Light It Up Blue theme, that's actually Autism Awareness's motto.
Correct.
How fitting it is that it's HL's color. So we just bought in it with it. And
it seems like it's perfect, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect fit.
And so we kind of put it together last year, not knowing what we was getting into, and man, it turned out to be an absolute slam dunk. It was standing room only at the park. We had a silent auction that did better than expected.
Right.
We had concessions and gates that went to the local school.
Right.
And in turn, we actually donated over $6,000 to this school.
Wow.
Not expecting where we was at.
That's amazing for an inaugural event,
Correct.
especially baseball related, because you're not sure if people are going to come out. You're not sure if they're going to show up, but you got some people to come, and you were awfully surprised to realize who was there, huh?
Yeah. At a certain point as a coach, you get locked in game time.
Sure.
And after the game, they come to you and they're just like, Coach, we had a line backed up from the gate all the way to the parking lot, which is probably about 40 yards long, and I couldn't believe it.
Right. Yeah. So a great job last year on doing that. But now we're looking forward to this year, right?
Correct.
And some really good things. Well, let me ask you this. What did you learn last year that led us to change some things? Anything you learned? That there's going to be a lot of people there?
Yeah, we knew that it was be standing room only, and I mean, obviously we're limited to the capacity that we could have as far as seating capacities.
Right.
But we had people bringing lawn chairs, so we're actually going to promote that a little more.
Okay.
That the bleachers and the seating will fill up. There won't be anywhere, so bring your lawn chairs out there. There's plenty enough grassy spaces around the outside the way you can see, or you can stand up along the fences. I mean, we want you there. We want to sit and support. It's a great cause.
Right.
So we want them, and the only thing that we can't control, we pray to the Lord that we got some dry weather that day.
Some dry weather here on April 2nd. That's certainly the thing that we want to look forward to. But there's a reason why you guys are doing this against Thibodeau, right? Let's talk about that importance with Thibodeau.
Me and Shane are close friends.
Right, head baseball coach.
He's a head baseball coach at Thibodeau.
High.
Me and him are close friends from even when I played against him when he was at EDY and I was at Terrebonne. But he has a nephew who has autism. And so the funny part is we were actually supposed to play at their place on Saturday last year.
Right.
And I called him, I was like, hey, do you mind flipping games? Because I have this idea. And I didn't even get to finish my sentence. He said, 100%, let's do it.
Wow.
And so then it came up this year for the district schedule again. I was like, hey, we're supposed to go to your place on Saturday. He said, you don't have to finish. He said, we're flipping. He said,
Wow.
I want to be a part of this as long as and as much as possible with you.
Well, and look, I don't know, and I've seen this in a lot of years. Things like this just don't happen that quickly.
Right.
They're not that successful that quickly. But I think part of the story that you've been able to share, Coach, lets us know the importance of it. Mm-hmm. And the Lighted Up Blue is the theme for autism awareness across the country.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that y'all are, again, like you mentioned, it's perfect. It's HL Bourgeois. It's HL Bourgeois Blue. And that's a really good thing because it ties right in to what HL is about. And now you're talking about how that ties in with Coach over at Thibodeau. And so with Shane having the same kind of similar situation, let's talk about who's throwing out the first pitch.
So last year it was my oldest daughter. This year, before the season started, I told Shane, I was like, hey, we're going to let your nephew throw it out this year.
Wow.
And he loves it. And I'm glad. And I know he's going to enjoy it because I know he enjoys baseball just as much as we do.
Right. Right. So let's put that flyer up, Jen, if you don't mind. I want people to be able to see what it is that's available. HL Bourgeois presents Lighted Up Blue Autism Awareness Baseball Game, April 2nd, 2022 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Where? At the reservation, right there at HL Bourgeois, kind of like Coach mentioned. That game was supposed to be scheduled in Thibodeau, but again, thanks to Coach Shane and what they've decided, they flip-flopped those games. So it'll be HL Bourgeois versus Thibodeau. All of the proceeds are going to benefit the Spectrum of Possibilities, which is the school that helps deal with kids who have autism. And there's a number of people you can see there, Terrebonne General Health System, Marucci, who makes some of the best bats out there, Gator Coolers, and then there's somebody else you wanted to mention. Is that right, Sean?
Yeah, Downspout Sports coming there, and they giving a bunch of card memorabilia. We got a signed LSU jerseys. We got Hall of Fame Martin Anderson mini helmets. We got an assortment. I mean, that's one thing that's grown this year.
Right.
We've actually got more silent auction items than what we had. We still got the same guys that piggybacked off of last year.
Right.
But
tell you what, Sean, what I want to do is I want to run through all of those things because in our next segment, I want everybody to know why I don't want anybody in the parish to be anywhere else on April 2nd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon except at the reservation.
Perfect.
That's where people need to be because the proceeds are very important. It's Joshua Smith, who's got 2 children who have autism, and it's amazing to me to hear that story. And so if people missed it, I want them to go back and watch that first segment as you talk about the importance of your kids and how sports is a great analogy for helping learn what you've learned, but more importantly, the benefits of what we're doing. And Sean helping you, helping out to get those funds. All of these proceeds go to the Spectrum of Possibilities. Let's talk about what it's been like for your daughter, your oldest daughter, to attend that.
It's been actually great.
Okay.
So before going to the school, she can count to 5, say a few words, yeah, no, mom, dad. But then within 2 weeks of being at the school, she could count to 10. She could say some of her days of the week. She could do other certain things that she wasn't able to do. And then now, she's been there for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Uh-huh.
She can write some of her letters. She knows all her days of the week. She knows all her months. She can count to 20. She's getting where she needs to be able to go to school.
Wow.
And
What great possibility.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's been great. And the school has grown.
Mm-hmm.
Just helping them last year with the donation, they went from a smaller building and now it's probably twice the size they're in now. This check we gave them was able to help them put down a down payment on a new building.
Wow. So cool to pay it forward and it making a difference. It's your whole world. Mm-hmm. It's your world at home. It's your world at school. And now it's something about paying it forward. So you mentioned, Sean, about last year, a lot of the things that y'all did last year that you're doing again this year. And now we're going to talk about it. Jen, put that flyer back up if you don't mind. And so just want that in the background while we talk about the event. Go ahead, Coach, Sean.
Yeah, some of the things that the silent auction, and Gator Coolers puts out this custom-made insulated cooler, and on the top it's really cool because he customizes it to almost that same logo that you see on top. It actually got puzzle pieces and all that. And
oh wow,
it's
for the autism awareness
yes,
symbol. Oh, that's awesome.
Marucci is another big sponsor, and Marucci is also a big promoter of autism awareness because they have, I think, a child that's got autism as well, and they're a big promoter of it. So we reached out to them last year, and they was all on board. They send us a certificate to where whoever buys the certificate, they can go design whatever custom-made bat they want.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Terrebonne General Health Systems, they help us with the promotion. They come out there and put the art together for us. They put us on air. They give us tents. They very good sponsors.
Sure.
Down South Sports is another one. Like I said, they got before the cut, they got Keyshawn Booty signed LSU jersey.
Oh, wow.
Martin Anderson signed Hall of Fame mini helmet and a couple of other things. We got a $100 gift card from Rouse's. We all know how much groceries are.
Oh, man, that's a big deal.
We got a $100 gift card to Zen. Steel Fringe Salon has donated a basket. 4L Mercantile has sent some different things as far as coolers and whatnot. We got couple of gym memberships from Impact Strong.
Oh, wow.
Where it's a 3-month free trial membership. So we got a lot more things, and things are still pouring in as we're getting closer in there. So we got, it's pretty much double from where we had on the silent auction from last year. So I really hope we could double what we donated last year to Spectrum. It would be even better.
Wouldn't that be fantastic if we can, twice as the second inaugural program, right? Second time you do it. We want to double. We have already doubled all the items that you have for the silent auction.
Correct.
See if we can double the number of people, which I know is going to be awfully hard. Bring your chairs, and maybe double that amount of money that's going. So that's really, really exciting. And so, Jen, put that back up there again. I want people to know what they can do, and I know I don't want them to be anywhere else because HL Bourgeois is presenting there at the reservation, the Lighted Up Blue, which is the theme across the country for autism awareness. They're having their autism awareness baseball game. HL Bourgeois is going to be playing Thibodeau. And again, both coaches have made the impact for that to happen at the reservation. It's for autism awareness, but it's more important because the proceeds will benefit Spectrum of Possibilities, which is a school that helps take care of those people who have developmental disorders and getting them up to speed, pardon the analogy again to baseball, to be back in school and to be a little bit more stream and mainline. So HL Bourgeois, don't go anywhere else. Put it on your calendar right now. April 2nd, 2022, 1 p.m. at the reservation. You see some of the sponsors that Sean went over a little earlier. Thank you very much, Jen. And so, guys, this is awfully exciting for people to be able to see what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's a really big deal. We appreciate you coming on. And I know, Coach, for you, you get to be able to see the need, to be able to be a part of what you're using, but you're also going to get the benefits. We want to get your second child into school there as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, so with schools like this, most of the time you're on a waiting list for 6 months to a year, maybe even more. Because that's just how it is. It's hard to get in there because with kids with the learning disability, you want to make sure you're giving them as much attention as possible.
Right.
And
so the ratio of teaching is important. We got about 30 seconds left, Coach. Tell us what's important.
So I mean, just getting as much as we can to the school, help these kids out as much as possible. Like you said, I have it firsthand, and we just want to help them as much as possible. Give these kids as much as they can have to be able to get better and learn as much as they can so they can live a normal life.
Opportunity for more possibility.
Yep.
Coach, I can't thank you enough. Sean, thanks for being involved.
Thank
We
you for having
appreciate
us.
it. We really do. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of Bayou Time Sports. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.